Welcome back to the sandwich series where I'm on a quest to find the best the best sandwiches from around the world and craft every single element from scratch. So today I'm going to nail down the perfect New England style lobster roll. Then we're gonna get into the lobster, and I'm talking to my friend Mark, who is a bit of a lobster expert. He's gonna fill me in on all the proper techniques to cook a lobster perfectly and break it down so I can get that luscious lobster meat and of course make lobster rolls. But we're gonna try out two lobster rolls because there's two main styles of lobster rolls on the East Coast of the United States. And I wanna see which one is better, at least which one I like better. So stay tuned for that. When you look at a traditional lobster roll, at first glance, you would think it was served on a hot dog bun. And you wouldn't be completely wrong because it pretty much is a hot dog bun, but it's actually a very specific roll considered a New England style hot dog bun. And this was created in 1940 when the big food chain, Howard Johnson's, which was actually the biggest food chain in the country at the time, serving ice cream and seafood, they went to the bakery, J.J. Neeson up in Maine, and they wanted a specific roll that would hold up really well so they could just stuff a bunch of fried clams into a sandwich. So what makes this roll so unique are two things. Number one is they are baked together, these rolls. So when you split them apart, you can grill the outside in butter, giving them a unique crispiness and flavor on the exterior. And number two, they are actually served top loaded. So you can just load in all of that lobster meat and not have to worry about it just falling out the side. Whereas a hot dog, it's just one wiener. So, but what I'm gonna do is create my own lobster rolls, and I'm gonna make these brioche style because anytime you can add extra butter when you're dealing with seafood like lobster, that is a bonus. Plus brioche just is the king of rolls and bread. In a large bowl, I added 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 2 tablespoons of sugar to sweeten up this dough, and 1 1/4 cups of warm milk. The warmth will just help activate this yeast. Then I added 3 eggs and made sure to mix that up so it was well incorporated before I started to add my dry ingredients. For this dough, I'm gonna start off with 5 cups of white bread flour. You can also use all-purpose flour, and then 2 tablespoons of salt, and I just mixed that together until it was all incorporated and nicely hydrated, and just let that sit for around 5 minutes until I started the kneading process. This dough recipe is definitely on the sticky side, so always feel free to just use a little bit of extra flour. Sprinkle that in when needed if the dough is sticking to the table, and I'm just gonna knead this for around 5 minutes until it's starting to feel nice and smooth, and that's when I add my butter. And this is 1/3 cup of softened butter, and I'm just gonna spread that on top of my dough and start to incorporate this, which is going to be an extremely sticky process. Yes, I wish I had a food processor, which would make this a lot easier, but you know what? It's back in the studio. So it's gonna take a little bit more work. It's gonna be pretty messy at first, but what I'm gonna do is start adding more flour. In total, I'm gonna be adding another cup of flour to this, and you'll see over time, it's going to start coming together. And when it starts to feel a little more smooth, I'll let this rest for another 5 minutes, and then I'll come at it again and knead it for about 5 more minutes to really get this dough into that perfect place.
I mean, that took definitely a bit of effort, but look how beautiful and smooth this dough is right now. Well worth the effort. So what I'm gonna do now is keep this nice and balled up, pop it in here, and we're gonna let that rise for the next hour. Probably, this might take 2 hours because it's not too much yeast in here. And then I'll divide it up and we'll start rolling out some buns.
Once it's doubled in size, I'm gonna take out my dough and split it into pieces. And I'm just eyeballing this because I left my scale at the studio. And then I'll roll these into little balls and just let those sit for about 5 minutes minutes until we are ready to form our rolls. Now, forming the rolls is quite easy. I'm gonna pat out the dough so it forms a flat rectangle shape, and then I'll start tucking in the sides from the top. And continuing to do that, making sure those tucks are tight so you create tension in your rolls. And then once it's completely tucked under, I'll just roll it out a bit on the board until you've got a nice hot dog looking roll. After I formed all of my rolls, I started adding them to a pan with some parchment paper on there, and I just made sure to leave about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch in between, because you want to give these rolls room to puff up so they proof together. And that's the next step, is let them proof for about 1 hour to 2 hours until they have puffed up very nicely. And then the last step is to brush them up with some egg wash, sprinkle on a little bit of sesame seeds, and then bake those in an oven at 375 degrees for around 20 minutes. Now let me show you why we pack these together. Rip this guy off. This could not be more perfect. So see these rip sides right here? Now we have a chance to get those crispy in the pan, and then we'll just slice it right down the middle. I am very excited about these. It is pretty cool how much better of a baker I've come. It started with Sourdough U, my bread baking course. Then I took that right into the sandwich series, and just all these different breads, I've learned so much. And right here, that's the definition of a perfect New England style brioche lobster roll. So I gotta be honest with you, the real reason that I'm making lobster rolls is because I got an email the other day from a company called Get Maine Lobster, and they were offering me some live lobster shipped to my front door, and that's pretty irresistible in the peak of summer. But I wanted a little more info because this is the sandwich series and I'm trying to give you the most value possible in these episodes. So I hopped on a call with Mark, the CEO and founder of Get Maine Lobster.
Well, my name's Mark Murrow, and I am the founder and CEO of Get Maine Lobster. And we are an online purveyor of Maine lobster and seafood. We go out and harvest lobsters by hand, pack them by hand, and then pass them to UPS and deliver them to your house. It's not as crazy as it seems. The lobster is very resilient. We actually drop their temperature by putting them in colder water than they're used to, which gets them super duper cold, chills them out. They're nice and calm. They're fully protected. And that's the best way to experience lobster, is getting it whole live delivered to your doorstep. I don't really believe there's any other way to get it as fresh. So the most humane way would be to put them in the freezer for 15, 20 minutes, right? And then they'll slowly pass. The next best way, which all the chefs do, is you take a chef knife and you stab them in the head and chop down a little bit to the bottom. Most people just put it right into the steam and close it and walk out of the room. They have a totally different central nervous system than we do. They don't feel pain like humans do. People say they hear them screaming. That's not, that's just any sort of chemical reaction that is occurring when you're cooking. So steaming is easy. If you have one of those little fan colander things that you can put in there, it's about 2 inches of water. I like to put sea salt and seaweed in the mix. I sent you 4 different sizes, so you'll have to look at the chart. But I prefer a 1 pound lobster. So I steam that probably for 10 minutes tops. And then what I do is I grab one of the antennas when I think it's done, and I try to give it a tug. If it comes out easy, it's ready. Right now, they're like brownish green. And then when they're ready, they turn bright red. So then you take it out, and as you're getting at the meat, you're like, yeah, that's bright white. It's not translucent. Boom, you're ready. So what I do to deconstruct is I rip the tail off and I rip the claws off. And then there's actually really good meat in the legs. They'll have, legs on either side of the carapace, and then you can take those off and you take a rolling pin.
I've seen that,
roll the meat out. Super good. That stuff's yummy. Some people like the tamale, the green stuff, in there, and the brains. And, if you want that, awesome. You can save the shells that you don't use and create a stock for a future pasta recipe or something. With the claws, I twist off the arm and then pull off the thumb and then crack the big part of the claw. I usually use a chef knife to crack it instead of a cracker because I've broken crackers before.
Yeah.
When the shell's too hard. And then you give it a couple whacks, it breaks open, and you should be able to just like that and pull the meat right out. It's awesome if you can pull it out whole, right? But it's going in your mouth anyway. Where the arm is, right, there's the knuckle meat is really good, really sweet. One thing with the tail, what I do is I rip the fins off, and then I stick my finger where the fins were and push the meat right out, and it plops right out. The digestive tract, deveining, you just want to rip a little bit of the top off and you'll see a black string, and you just want to pull that out. It doesn't really have any flavor. It's not a big deal if you eat it, but that's their waste. So you pull that out and then you're ready to rock.
Wow.
I hate mayo. I do no mayo. So I created a new technique. I use New England split top rolls. I butter both sides and brown the rolls. And what that does is it makes it crispy on the outside and moist and warm on the inside. I take the lobster meat and I don't heat it up. I like it cold. So then I put the lobster meat in, and then I drizzle melted butter, not too much, but just a little bit. And then we have this secret seasoning, and I know the ingredients, but I actually don't know the formula. It's that secret. It's from a Maine lobster chef of the year. Her name is Margaret Salt McClellan. And then I take a little bit of that and I sprinkle it over the top. Super simple, but it's to die for.
That's Mark's hybrid right there. Thing of beauty. Let's give it a try. Oh my God. So I've been sampling the meat. I don't know if it's the freshness of the lobster, the way I cooked it, where it came from, or just all of the above, but by far the best lobster meat that I've ever consumed. It is sweet, fresh, has a slight oceanic flavor, and then you pack it in to this beautiful roll, just fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside with that spice mix and the butter, the drenched in butter. I love this version. Absolutely incredible. Oh my God. So this is incredible. Mark was right, his hybrid is spot on. But when I was in Maine a few years ago, I had a bunch of lobster rolls, and I do like mayo. I really like mayo, and I like a mayo-based lobster roll like you would get in Maine. So I wanted to prepare one of those as well to put it up against the butter style. So what I'm gonna do is make a mayo completely from scratch, which is super simple. All you have to do is take one egg yolk into a bowl and start whisking that up and slowly emulsify in oil. And let me tell you, slow is the key, or your mayo will break, it won't turn out. So just a little bit at a time, whiskey, whiskey, a little bit more whiskey, whiskey, until it starts to thicken up and you get this perfect mayo. I'm gonna use some of the herbs that I had on hand, just a little bit of parsley, some dill, and a little bit of basil, and just chop that up really fine. And it's pretty classic to get that crunch from the celery, so I'm gonna slice up some celery as well and throw that into a bowl with the lobster. I hit it with just a little bit of lemon juice to brighten up that lobster just a bit. Stuff that in a toasted roll and just a sprinkle of chive to garnish it off. What a fun job I have crafting sandwiches and then tasting them. Okay, so Maine style lobster roll. Mark doesn't like the mayo, but does he like homemade mayo? Maybe it would convince him. Well, that bun is certainly perfect. Couldn't be better, that bun. So this style, you're basically making a lobster salad, just like you'd make a chicken salad or a tuna salad, mayo, some herbs, some crunch with the celery. And I really like it, and I see why it's so popular. But I have to say, when you're dealing with lobster of this quality that was just in the ocean 2 days ago, Mark's style kind of nails it. Just load it up with butter, with a little bit of that fresh spice. He's definitely onto something there because that style just pops a little more. It's a little more unique, or maybe I'm just trying it for the first time and I'm kind of shocked where I've had this style before. And also the herbs and the mayo do mask the flavor of the lobster a little bit, whereas just the butter and a little bit of spice just makes it sing. So I think I gotta go with Mark's style on this. It was something special, so Mark the Lobster Man, you took this one down, my friend. Thank you for sending me this incredible lobster. I don't get to cook lobster too often. Well, ever, pretty much. I think I've cooked it like twice before. So this was really fun. I learned a lot about the cooking process, breaking down the lobster, and if that was graphic for you, it was too much, I understand it, but just remember, if you're eating lobster, someone has to kill those lobsters. So that karma ends up on you in some way. Just because it's out of mind, out of sight, doesn't mean it's all right. I understand if you don't like lobster at all, that's totally fine. You don't appreciate eating animals or fish or crustaceans, whatever it is. But if you are eating your own lobster, there's nothing wrong with killing it and being more connected to the process. So that's my little rant there. But if you want to watch more of the sandwich series, you can click these two videos, two options, more sandwich series coming your way, and I will see you in the next video.